Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. And in today's video we have our March TBR. Well, it's not necessarily a TBR. It's just all the books that I want to read for the month of March. Today is actually March 2nd, and I have 9 books here that I do plan on reading in the month of March. We may or may not divert from this list. We'll see how my mood changes throughout the month to see if my mood matches these books. But I do feel like I've picked a solid collection, some anticipated reads that I have been ready to read. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this book. The first one we have here is Queen's Move by Kennedy Bryan. This is the third and final book to the Kingmaker series. I'm pretty sure this is the last book, but let's go ahead and read the back of it and let's just see what this one is about. So it's about the boy who always felt like mine is the man I can't have. Dig a little and you'll find photos of me in the bathtub with Esper Stern. Get your mind out of the gutter. We were 6 months old. Pride in one of us might confess we saved our first kiss for each other. The most clumsy, wet, sloppy, spectacular 30 seconds of my adolescence. Get into our business and you'll see 2 families closer than blood torn apart in an instant. 20 years later, my awkward duckly best friend from childhood, the boy no one noticed, is a man no one can ignore. Finer, fiercer, smarter, taken. Tell me it's wrong. Tell me the boy who always felt like mine is now the man I can't have. When we find each other again, everything stands in our way. Secrets, lies, promises. But we didn't come this far to give up now. And I know just the move to make if I want to make him mine. This book is following Lennox's best friend in her love life. Her best friend / her business partner in the Kingmaker series, and I don't know if they ever said her name, and I can't remember her name, so let me just flip through for a second. Let's see. Kimba. So this is obviously following Kimba and Esper, and I cannot wait. I've read so many great reviews on this book, so we'll just see what happens with these 2. The next book that I am dying to read is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This has been sitting on my bookshelf for quite some time now, so I do plan on getting into this book for the month of March. I hear so many people get book hangovers from this book. They are just torn apart, torn to pieces with this book. So I cannot wait to see what all the hype is about. This is about, well, this is what it says. I wanted to lose myself in the small town of Pelion, Maine, to forget everything I had left behind. The sound of rain, the blood, the coldness of a gun against my skin. For 6 months, each breath has a reminder that I survived and my dad tended. I'm almost safe again, but the moment I meet Archer Hale, my entire world tilts on its axis and never rents itself again. Until I trespass into his strange, silent, and isolated world, Archer communicates with no one. Yet in his risky colored eyes, something intangible happens between us. There's so much more to him than just his beauty, his presence, or the way his hands communicate with me, on me. But this town is mired in secrets and betrayals, and Archer is the explosive center of it all. So much passion and so much hurt, but it's in Archer's silence that we might just find what we need to heal and to live. So this is one of the books that I believe I'm going to get into in the middle of March, but we'll just see on how fast or how slow I read a book. The next one, my heart is breaking just picking it up. It's the last and final book of the ACOTAR series as of right now. I did see an interview or a clip of an interview that Sarah J. Maas did saying there may possibly be another ACOTAR book in time to come. But it's nowhere near it's just in her head right now. So hopefully we will not be saying farewell to the ACOTAR series for too much longer. But for now, this is A Court of Silver Flames. And this one says, okay, before I even get into this, I read A Court of Frost and Starlight recently. And I feel that was like such a good segue and turning point to kind of direct the main character focus from Feyre and Bryson to Nesta and Kaysen, or Cajun, I could be saying his name wrong. And it was such a nice palate cleanser. But the way that the cliffhanger that she left off kind of on Nessa and Kaysen, like we still have so many questions on why things are the way they are with Nessa towards Kaysen per se, especially on how A Court of Rings and Ruin ended. I believe this book is going to kind of pivot more so to them being the main characters. Like, it's hard to say main characters because all of them are main characters, but to where they're like more so the four focus. So this one says, Nesta Archerin has always been prickly, proud, swift to anger, and slow to forgive. And since the war, since being made halfway against her will, she struggles to forget the horrors she endured and find a place for herself within the strange and deadly night court. The person who ignites her temper more than any other is Kaysen, the battle-scarred Rings warrior who is there at Nesta's every turn. But her temper isn't the only thing Kaysen ignites. The fire between them is undeniable, and it only burns hotter as they are forced to work closely together. As the threat of war casts its shadows over them once again, Nesta and Kaysen must battle monsters from within and without as they search for acceptance and healing in each other's arms. So I am rooting for these two. I love Kaysen so much. I am still trying to like Nesta, honestly. Like, one minute I can't stand her, next minute I like her, next minute she's okay. So I really just want to get to a point with Nesta that I'm just really wanting to understand her so I can like her. So we'll see. I plan on reading this ASAP, you all know. But I'm also not in a rush because this is the last book and I'm scared to part ways with ACOTAR right now. The next book I want to read for the month of March is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I heard so many good things, and if you may or may not know, I am obsessed with like the dystopian type world, dystopian type movies. I love The Hunger Games, Maze Runner, Divergent. All of those type of movies are like my absolute favorite. And I heard this literally will give you the feels of like The Hunger Games. So let's go ahead and read the back of it because I 100% plan on reading this in the month of March. This is about Avery Grams has a plan for a better future. Survive high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her family his entire fortune. Which is funny because I think in Divergent, wasn't his name, I don't think it was Tobias, it was, no, it was Ford. But why I feel like Tobias was maybe her dad's name in Divergent, I have to fact check myself, but that name is like such like familiar. Anyways, the only catch, Avery must move into his sprawling mansion full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne House is occupied by the family that was just disinherited. This includes the 4 Hawthorne grandsons, dangerous magnetic boys who grew up with every expectation that one day they would inherit billions. Heir apparent Grayson is convinced that Avery is a con woman and he's determined to take her down. But his brother Jameson views her as their grandfather's last hurrah. A twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved. Caught in a world of wealth and privilege with danger at every turn, Avery will have to play the game herself just to survive. So I honestly just have no clue how this book is going to spin. I have no clue on how this book is going to go, like, at all. Even reading the back of it, nothing is really like popping out at me. So we are literally going into this completely blind, and I am excited about that. Another book or another fantasy. As you all can see, I love me some fantasy. I love me some romantasy along with romance. I am trying to get to that point with thrillers as well, which the thriller I'm reading now, I'm jumping ahead of myself, but I feel like this is going to be up on the radar for me as well. But the next one I want to read is Legendborn by Tracy Dion. And this is about after her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family memories or childhood home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems like the perfect escape until Bree witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus. A flying demon feeding on human energies. A secret society of so-called Legendborn students that hunt the creatures down. And a mysterious teenage mage who calls himself a Merlin and who attempts and fails to wipe Bree's memories of everything she saw. The mage's failure reveals Bree's own unique magic and a buried memory with a hidden connection. The night her mother died, another Merlin was at the hospital. Now that Bree knows there's more to her mother's death than what's on the police report, she'll do whatever it takes to find out the truth, even if that means infiltrating the Legendborn as one of their initiates. She recruits Nick, a self-exiled Legendborn with his own grudge against the group, and their reluctant partnership pulls them deeper into society's secrets and closer to each other. But when the Legendborn reveals themselves as descendants of King Arthur's knights and explain that a magical war is coming, Bree has to decide how far she'll go for the truth and whether she should use her magic to take the society down or join the fight. So I heard this is so good. I saw a few people are starting to pick this up. I feel like ever since I saw a TikTok about it, I started seeing more people read it. And I also just watched Kyra Stewart, her vlog, and she was reading Legendborn, and she was in the car, she was saying how good it's getting. So I'm excited to read this one as well. The other one, which is highly anticipated, I first heard of Magnolia Parks, which I'm sure a lot of us have, through Shaughnessy's YouTube video. I follow her on YouTube and Instagram, and this is like one of her favorite series, I think, ever. So with her, I pushed for all of us to read this. Alex also was telling me to read this, and just so many other people. I know a few of my followers or friends on Instagram were telling me about Magnolia Parks. They were saying how messy it is, but it's so good, and I can't wait to read this. So this is by Jessica Hastings. Magnolia Parks is a beautiful, affluent, self-involved, and mildly neurotic London socialite. BJ Valentine is Britain's most notorious and photographed bad boy who broke her heart. But these two are meant to be, and everyone knows it. Magnolia and BJ are written in the stars, just suspended in a strange kind of love that looks like hurting each other a lot of the time. She dates other people to keep him at bay. He sleeps with other girls to get back at her for it. But at the end of their very sad endeavors to get over one another, it's still each other they crawl back to. Finally, after years of this, their dysfunction is catching up with them, pulling at their seams and fraying the world they built. But they're not ready to let go, not yet at least. As the cracks start to show and secrets begin to surface, Magnolia and BJ are forced to face the formidable question they've been avoiding all their lives. How many loves do you really get in a lifetime? I am so excited to start this, y'all. I have no clue when in March I'm going to read this because I just have so many good options, but this is definitely one of my priorities. Another one, which is going to be one of the first books I read for the month of March as soon as I'm done with Never Lie, is going to be Addicted to You. And I am going to do a whole reading vlog on Addicted to You and on The Engagement Party by Darby Payne, because I am going to do a vlog on the books that my husband picked out for me, and then we're going to talk to him about it in a whole separate video. So these are going to be the first books that I actually read in March once I'm done with Never Lie by Frida McFadden. So I'm excited to finally get into this. There was a third book, which was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, but I can't even touch that book until I'm done with Avatar. So unfortunately, that video won't be in it, but that's neither here nor there. We'll talk more about it in the other video. But this is about, she's addicted to sex, he's addicted to booze. The only way out is rock bottom. No one would suspect shy Lily Calloway's biggest secret. While everyone is dancing at college bars, Lily stays in the bathroom to get laid. Her compulsion leads her to one-night stands, steamy hookups, and events she shamefully regrets. The only person who knows her secrets happens to have one of his own. Lauren Hale's best friend is his bottle of bourbon. Lily comes a close second. For 3 years, they pretended to be in a real relationship, hiding their addictions from their families. They mastered the art of concealing flags and random guys who filter in and out of their apartment. But as they seek beneath the weight of their addictions, they cling harder to their destructive relationship and wonder if a life together, for real, is better than a lie. Strangers and family begin to infiltrate their guarded lives, and with new challenges, they realize they may not be addicted to just sex and alcohol, or to just alcohol and sex. Their real vice may be each other. So y'all, we are finally about to get into this by Krista and Becca Ritchie. And I'm excited to read this because I know my husband has been waiting to read this. He just asked me not too long ago, when are you going to read the books I got? So we are definitely going to read this very soon. The other one we're reading very soon, again, is The Engagement Party by Darby Kane, which is a thriller. Whew, and I'm reading a thriller right now, y'all. So we are starting March full of thrillers, and I did not even anticipate us going that route. But this one says, Emily Hunt went missing from her affluent liberal arts college on graduation weekend. Her body was found floating in a river. Across campus, a quiet loner died by suicide. A tenuous link, one text bound these two dead students together, and one was enough for law enforcement to close the case. But they got it wrong, and now someone is determined to set it right. 12 years later, college friends gather to celebrate an engagement with a long overdue getaway to a swanky private island in Maine, with only one way in and one way out. Sierra Prescott, invited as a guest and unconnected to past events, is the only person who soon senses not all is what it seems. The tension in the air is ignited when they find a dead man in the trunk of a car with a note, time to tell the truth. And things only get worse. As a torrential storm strands them together, the group's buried secrets begin to surface and secrets are bartered. To survive this deadly party, they'll need to stop a killer before they become prey. First of all, the cover is freaking me out. It's giving, this movie came out years and years ago. What is it called? Oh my God, I can't even think of the title right now, but this cover is literally freaking me out. I hope I'm not in over my head, but we are gonna read this next. I'm definitely gonna need a break in between thrillers, so I'm pretty sure Addicted to You is gonna be the next book, and then we'll hop into this one. And then lastly, I am actually in the middle of reading this book right now. It's Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I am almost 50% in. And I have so many different analogies already. I have so many different villains in my head. I have so many different theories on where this direction is going to go. Frida is that girl. Y'all did not lie. I was trying to read this book last night, y'all, and I was scared. I had to put it up and I said, we're going to read this in the daytime. But I'm already telling y'all my thoughts. We'll talk about it more in the vlog, but let me go ahead and read y'all what the back of it says. Sometimes the truth kills. Newlyweds, Teresa and Ethan are searching for the house of their dreams. They think they found it when they visit the remote manor that once belonged to Dr. Adrian Hill, a renowned psychiatrist who vanished without a trace years ago. But when a violent winter storm traps them at the estate, the house begins to lose its appeal. Stuck inside and growing restless, Teresa stumbles on a collection of audio transcripts from Dr. Hill's sessions with patients. As Teresa listens to the cassette tapes, she learns about the terrifying chain of events leading up to the doctor's mysterious disappearance. With each tape, another shocking piece of the puzzle falls into place, and a web of lies slowly unravels. But by the time Teresa reaches the final cassette, the one that reveals the entire horrifying story, it will be too late. From New York Times best-selling author McFadden comes an addictive, unpredictable thriller that will keep asking you the question, what is the truth? Just reading the back of it got chills running up and down my spine. I'm actually in the middle of reading it. This book actually is pretty good so far. Right now, I'm already on like a 4-star right now, and I'm not even halfway through. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be a highly rated book for me. I already figured some things out, but because it was so easily suspected, I already know the plot twist is going to be something totally different. But again, you all, that is all of the 10 books. I think it's 10. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9. So these are all of the 9 books that I do plan on reading in the month of March. Again, we may divert from this. I'm not sure. But we're going to try our best to read all of these. Hold on, let me flip them. So just to conclude, we have Queen Move, Archer's Voice, A Court of Silver Flames, The Inheritance Games, Legendborn, Magnolia Parks, Addicted to You, The Engagement Party, and Never Lie. I think I have a good selection here, friends, but that is all for this video. I cannot wait to see what type of videos and interactions we have for the month of March. And in the comments below, let me know what you plan to read for the month of March, and if you're excited about your selection as well. Until next time, my friends, bye.